obviously it was the Mr. Olympia this weekend, which is quite frankly probably we should have called it the Mr. Snorefest.
Man, it was disappointing.
Yeah, it was disappointing by virtue of the fact that the top 4 bodybuilders really in the world were absent.
Yeah.
So
not just that, it's the fact that the guys came in so piss poor condition as well.
yeah, I thought the conditioning was very poor. I mean, we can discuss athletes that like look at examples. Cedric McMillan, who got a special invite.
Comes in fat.
Yeah, he was had more water retention than the Titanic.
Fuck, he looked terrible.
Yeah.
And he was a potential guy I feel could have won the show.
If he can get 7th place with that level of conditioning, it just
Imagine.
goes to show that if he came in and he actually brought it, he'd do some serious damage.
He could easily win. I mean, he probably had the best like symmetry, balance, proportion, tall. I mean, he's like 6'2". He's huge. He looks amazing. But,
Tiny joints.
But he fucks around, lazy, but or I don't know if it's the fact that he's lazy.
I've heard via other reports in the industry.
He is lazy, yeah.
So I fucking ate some serious humble pie. Kyle over here called Hardy Chupin in the top 5. I said there was no chance. Not because I was denigrating Hardy, I just thought that because of his shape and his structure, other bodybuilders would hurt him. I had Juan Diesel ahead of him.
Steve
Kuklo.
Yeah.
I had Roeli ahead of him.
Yeah.
I had Dexter ahead of him.
The only reason why I jumped on that was the fact that so many of the top guys were out, and also it was such an incredible story with him getting his visa.
Yeah, look, I'm very chuffed for him. I thought he brought in. He was by far, he was the people champion, and rightfully so. Incredible conditioning. The only discernible shots where I saw other people were noticeably better. William Boniak's back was considerably better than Hardy.
William looked amazing, just flat.
Look, I personally had William for the win.
Yeah. I would have had him over Brandon.
Yeah.
I would have had both William and Hardy Chupin over Brandon.
Brandon Curry, thick skin,
Yeah.
thick skin, no legs.
Yeah.
There's some comparative shots that are doing the rounds now. Steve will get these to pop up and you can have a look at them. But in these pictures and these comparative shots, I understand, yes, it's very different when you're there, you're seeing the athletes in person, but I was watching the HD live stream and I was exceptionally disappointed with Brandon's legs.
Yeah.
In these shots, had he absolutely destroyed.
Not even just from size, overall condition.
That's the irony. You've got a guy coming from the 212 category standing there, and he's got the biggest legs in the top 4, considerably. I mean, he made Roeli look small.
Crazy.
He makes Brandon look small.
Standing toe for toe, front double bicep, every shot, holding his own.
Yeah.
Dude, the guy weighed 205 pounds on stage.
What do you mean?
Like apparently he weighed in at 205 pounds.
This year?
Yeah.
There's no chance. There's no fucking chance he weighed 205.
I saw an interview with Hanny Rambod and they were saying that, you know, he wants to compete at that 212 mark in the open to show that he's like, we can stand these guys regardless of them being a 212 competitor.
If that's the case, then I'll doff my hat to an old pro, but I think that's the biggest campfire story.
I agree, because I mean, sure, if you need to make weight.
Warming my fucking hands by the fire and eat some marshmallows. Yeah, I'm 205 pounds, standing next to Brandon at like 240, 250 pounds bigger than him, yeah.
So let's run through it. Let's go through from the top. We're going to start with Brandon winning the show. So
look, he was the firm favourite.
Yeah.
And although I said I predicted the top 3 in my Q&A, I said I predicted the top 3 the moment I saw the athletes on stage. Prior to that, my top 5 was very, very different. But Brandon, it's fine. I think he will be a great ambassador for the sport.
Yeah.
Is he the best bodybuilder in the world? No. I'm sorry to say it. I mean, no disrespect to Brandon, but if he stood next to Sean Roden and Phil Heath and Kai Green and Rainey, I think he'd get his own arsehole handed to him and he'd be strangled with it on stage.
100%.
Yeah.
And people must understand we're not taking away from his win.
It's a subjective-based sport.
We're allowed to voice our opinion.
But look, he brought a much better package. I still feel that his legs need a huge improvement from a size perspective and a detail perspective.
Yeah, there wasn't much detail.
And his skin just looks very, very thick. It looks like almost like he's got his tan is too thick. Too thick.
It's taking away from his overall condition.
Yeah.
So yeah, good, like you said, good ambassador for the sport.
Yeah. And then William Boniak.
Dude, I was
respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
On his own?
Look, I don't know if he was on his own.
And Neil Hill was one of the commentators.
Oh really?
Yeah, he was one of the commentators, not judging, but he was with Sean Ray commentating the show. So
I don't hear what he said.
I didn't hear he didn't have anything bad to say. He actually gave William like quite a few compliments and things like that. So
look, as I said, I thought that Neil handled himself like a complete gentleman through the entire debacle. I wasn't a fan of William's tenure prior to the show.
Yeah.
But that it's completely immaterial on game day. Looking at it, I had him first.
Yeah.
And when I say I had him first, looking at it completely objectively, and I preferred his package, his conditioning, I thought it had, but I knew that for whatever reason Brandon would be ahead of him. But William was amazing, and respect to him.
A bit flat, but from a conditioning perspective, I would say between him and Heidi for conditioning. But overall, I would still have Williams slightly ahead of Heidi for the win.
And then we spoke about Hayley Chupin.
Yeah. Man, impressive.
Seriously impressive conditioning. Props to him. And his legs. His legs were absolutely unreal. Biggest legs by
front
far.
And back. His hamstring, the detail on his glutes and hamstring, ridiculous. And do you know what it is that sets him apart from the rest of the guys? His midsection. His midsection is crazy detailed, and it's like flat. All of the guys, I mean, even Brandon as well, battling a little bit of distension, obviously, as the guys get a bit bigger. But yeah, I mean, people's champ as well. So, 4th place. Dexter Jackson.
Mr. 2008 Olympia, Dexter Jackson.
Listen, say what you want.
Massive respect. The man's 50 years old, he comes top 4. Still a contender for that top 5.
Dude.
I couldn't help but chuckle when there was the second call out and Steve Kuklo was in the lineup with him. He's like hitting Dex, as if to say, yeah man, yeah. And Dex was like, no, we don't celebrate for the second. This may be the winningest posed out comparison that you've ever been in the Olympia, but I'm not happy to be standing here with you. Make no mistake.
That's fine.
There's no ambiguity on the fact that I shouldn't be standing here with you. You shit.
Steve was buzzing. So props to him as well, because I think it's his highest place.
His highest, but still shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But imagine with Sean Roden, Paul Heath, Big Randy, out of the top 10 immediately.
Yeah. Okay, so that's
5th place, Rolly Winkler.
Yeah, again, very underwhelming, watery
Strong.
From what I saw. Very unimpressive. I wasn't very moved. I don't know if he'll ever be able to bring it in 100%.
Probably not. No. The best he looked was at the one Arnold Classic that he won. But
athletes are also judged on their consistency. It's no good just being a one-hit wonder. And then classic physique, big controversial win there.
Yeah.
Controversial because it's a lot of people, including Brendan's coach Chris Cormier, crying to a hanky at the end of the show and making all sorts of surreptitious comments and calling bullshit. Steve will show a screenshot of Chris's bad behavior, which I believe subsequently he's taken down.
Because he was coaching Brion, that's why.
Yes.
But people keep forgetting the fact that classic physique is not a bodybuilding contest. Sure, you're still being judged to specific criteria and specific poses, but the guys can get away with a little bit in which the open men's can't. Like they can be soft in little areas and so on and so forth. It's not the biggest, most shredded guy that wins classic physique.
I think, look, it's like shows the one from the back, and I understand what that.
But
it's kind of like the saying, a customer is always right.
Yes.
The idea behind it makes sense, but unfortunately, yes, Brion had a more detailed back. George had a much more detailed back than Brion.
Absolutely.
Okay, but George is a mutant. I believe at one stage, I read somewhere, I can't remember where I read it. If I find the screenshot, I'll get Steve to pop it up here. But at some stage, George was apparently going to come in at like 240 pounds. How does that work with the weight restrictions and things like that?
Dude, he's huge. If you see them all standing next to each other, he's massive.
I saw when he was getting his tan on, he was doing some of his back posing, and I was absolutely, I was scared.
He needs to go into the 212 if he can even make that weight.
No, I don't think he'll make. I don't think he'll do as well in the 212 as he does in classic, but amazing physique. But I just thought that Chris Cormier's behavior was very, very poor.
Yeah.
I saw him and Ian Belair were having a go at each other. Ian is Chris's coach.
Yeah.
You've got to be gracious in defeats. This is a subjective-based sport. The controversies in the multiple Olympias over the years, make fantastic issues of contention and talking points for years and years and years down the line.
Yeah.
You've just got to take it in your stride. You've got to be as gracious in defeat as you are in victory, and always be honest. but do it in a classy way.
Yeah.
You know, I just thought that.
So you put it on social media.
You know, I mean, Chris never ever behaved like that when he got second 2 years in a row to Brion.
And it was like by 1 point, which it could have gone either way.
Exactly.
Both times.
But the bottom line is that Chris, if you picked up an encyclopedia or a dictionary and there was the definition to classic physique, there should be a picture of Chris Bumstead.
Absolutely.
That's just the way it is.
Dude, he looks phenomenal. And it's not just that, it's like just the way he poses as well. Man, he looks absolutely phenomenal.
Posing, his structure, his shape. Yes, he's got weaknesses, but every bodybuilder has their respective weaknesses, unless you're Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a fanboy, but I didn't have him winning going into the show. I had Brion winning. Obviously, in terms of what
So did I.
on social media.
So did I. Yeah. But respect to Chris, and then the bikini competition.
Biggest upset.
Yeah, I was, basically Ashley Kultwasser, whatever she is, absolutely smoked her on Instagram.
Yeah.
3-time previous Miss Bikini champion. I thought one of her best packages came 6th, and then the previous champ from last year, 2 years in a row, also
4th place.
Yeah, 4th place.
4th place.
Yeah, 4th place.
Wow, the land of make-believe.
Very, 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 very
So the completely
surprising.
new champion out of the blue.
What was her name again?
Man, I don't even know. We're gonna have to look.
Look, they look good. It's just, even as a coach and someone that follows bodybuilding very, very closely, I would not want to be a judge in the bikini lineup.
Man, it's ridiculously difficult.
It's much easier from a bodybuilding perspective. What's her name?
Is it Becky? No, this is a different chick. She was just posting pictures of the winner. New bikini Olympia champion, Elisa Fassini.
Yeah, I think that, we're sitting there and we're looking at the girls.
I don't know.
can't say this one's more striated than this one because they're not supposed to have striations. They're balanced, their proportion, their hair, their nails, their makeup. I understand that that's very important because they've got to obviously display or emulate the idea of a healthy, strong physique.
But dude, it's transitioning into something totally different. Because, forgive me if I'm wrong, but remember when you did a couple of IFBB shows and you did men's physique, and you weren't placed because you were too muscular and too defined. But now the same thing seems to be being applied to bikini. Because
I think bikini's going. I think bikini was going that way.
Yeah.
But I think bikini's now going back. And if you look at the same thing with men's physique.
Yeah.
Who's the men's physique champion this year?
And it was a completely
relatively unknown.
out of the blue unknown.
And if he looks a lot, he has a lot. I don't want to take anything away from his physique. Got a great physique, but comparatively speaking, he's a lot less muscular.
Yeah, Raymond Edmonds.
Yeah, he demonstrates, of that entire sort of top 5 category, he demonstrates the most athletic
tall
physique.
tall guy, and
A lot more slender, not carrying nearly as much mass. So in some ways, I think that they are actually starting to pull that back from muscle mass at all costs. And a lot of people were saying that with Sean Roden having edged out Phil last year. Obviously, whereas aesthetics and conditioning, balance, symmetry, proportion, a whole lot of other facets, in addition to muscle mass, are coming, being prioritized over and above sheer muscularity.
I suppose though you could argue the same point now with exactly what happened with classic physique with Chris winning. Same thing.
I think the women's physique division, Shanique Grant, that chick is
unbelievable.
Absolutely, she's almost alien-like in how tiny her joints are.
Her waist.
And to have such a small structure and have so much muscle mass on it, like I said, she looks almost alienoid.
From the back, especially.
Incredible physique. I think she has what it takes to be the greatest of all time.
Absolutely.
And the most winningest women's physique division champion of all time going forward. I think the only person that has a hope in hell of dethroning her is the previous woman physique champion, Julia.
Okay.
Julia beat Darren and Bailey.
Yes.
And Julia won 3 times in a row, and then she retired for stating that she was, I wouldn't want to say health reasons, because she didn't have anything wrong with her health to my knowledge, but she believed that level, or she alluded to believe in that level of muscularity and stuff like that wasn't in line with her views of longevity,
Okay.
etc., etc. But I think that's the only person that ever has a chance of beating or toppling Shanique. And although I'm not a fan of women's bodybuilding by any stretch of the imagination, and what I mean is looking at the aesthetics of it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not talking about what I do or I don't find attractive. I'm just saying merely by the aesthetic. Shanique, even though she's carrying so much muscle, is still, because she's so waspy, still demonstrates such a feminine sort of, as feminine as one can be in that division, which I think is great.
It looks good, yeah. It's what that division needs, because it was kind of going, it was going in the opposite direction. I mean, previous winner was Iris Kyle, wasn't it, for that division?
No, that's bodybuilding, not women's physique.
Okay.
I just said that Julia was the...
Okay.
Yeah, where was he for the last 3 minutes? I was just having a conversation.
I'm pretty sure you said women's bodybuilding.
I said I spoke about women's bodybuilding, and then I said the women's physique champion is the Julia champion.
Okay.
Sweet fucking Jesus. I just spoke about Julia. The only person that's got a chance of winning is the previous champ that beat Daniel and Barry. What's her name? Iris Kyle.
But then you started talking about women's bodybuilding. And I said, anyway, if we can rewind that and go back to that and see. Fucking rewind that.
You rewind that and
Women's
see
bodybuilding.
who's the fucking clown.
You books.
Women's bodybuilding.
Sound.
Okay, and yeah, the figure division, no disrespect, but Snorefest. Who won? I don't really care.
Didn't follow.
Yeah, I don't really follow that. Who is the new winner?
Figure.
Also new champion, as I understand.
Yeah, Sydney Gillen.
Okay, yeah. So not one of the ones that I had to win, but I didn't. I'll be lying if I said that I paid any attention to that.
Dude, that Shanique Grant is unbelievable.
Yeah, she's unbelievable. Yeah. So, in your opinion, who was the most stand-out champion of all of the divisions? I'd go so far as say Shanique.
Absolutely.
She is the one that is unequivocally and irrefutably deserved of that position.
In terms of just like,
There's no contention.
No.
She just went, she got on stage,
Yeah.
and she hurt
Everyone.
every single person. So you like, when the person that must have come second was like, shit,
Yeah.
I've done really, 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 really well.
Absolutely.
There's no, the judges, and you can have, there's some debates and areas of contention with Brandon. There can be areas of contention with the bikini division. There's most definitely areas of contention in the men's physique division
Classic physique, yeah.
and the classic physique division. But Shanique got on stage and absolutely destroyed. So massive respect and shout out to her. Incredible physique. But yes, probably the most boring Olympia that I've ever been privy to.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit exciting based on the fact that a lot of new winners, and you didn't know which way it was going to go, but just in terms of overall condition and what the athletes look like, especially in the men's open, disappointing.
Yeah, I wasn't blown away. I just hope that Phil pulls his finger out of his
He's just
arsehole.
not fucking around.
I mean, he literally could have got on stage and
8
got
times
his
the
eight-
slow, 400
Yeah,
pounds.
yeah. And you can say yes, he didn't want to go on there. There's no competition, but what if Arnold had done? Arnold
Take
would have gone and
advantage.
take complete
Yeah.
advantage, use it to his advantage.
Yeah.
The fact that then go in there and get another crack at 8. And I mean, at this rate, if you look at the obstacles in terms of athletes in Phil's way, I mean, he could go away with like 12 Mr. Olympias.
Yeah. 100%. You can go there 70% of his condition only.
Yeah. So, anyway, is what it is. That's a wrap up.